Tommy said on Kick, the AI has a capability people don't take into account, which is exponential learning. The only solution is
Yep.
to make it not matter anymore, and that only can be done at an individual level of people. We technologically created a separation between people centered on the ability to critically think, and there's no going back.
There is truth in that statement where
Oh, that's what
critical
Tommy. That's the
thinking.
holy ball. Sorry. Sorry.
He's right in that respect that critical thinking is unfortunately at an all-time low, particularly with the. It's true. It's true. I
I
swear,
know.
I am constantly mind boggled at how at people's lack of critical thinking capabilities, where they can't
They
look at
drank too much
something.
fluoride water.
It's I feel so bad for the generation that's currently going through like high school and even
Mm-hmm.
to a degree college, because it's like, oh my goodness, the teachers and the parents. I'm not letting the parents off the hook on this one either. They are not teaching Generation Alpha critical thinking skills. They're literally
Yeah.
it's Gen Alpha, by and large, from what I've seen, is needing everything like spoon fed to them. And they can't literally work out a problem in their own head. They need someone else to give them the answer. And this is a problem. This is a big problem considering
Mm-hmm.
Gen Alpha is supposed to be the generation that is supposedly going to be taking over in the next like 30 years. They're supposedly going to be the
Yeah.
ones running things. And the lack of critical thinking
Yeah.
skills that I have seen from them is, quite frankly, pretty terrifying.
And that's the thing though, and I don't know how conspiracy theorists you get like on your streams, but it and I agree with you, chat. It's all by design. And from a Christian perspective, I mean, we know that things are gonna get, worse. The Bible mentions everything that is good is gonna be bad and everything that's bad is gonna be good. And that includes it's intelligence, apparently. But it's by design to control the masses. People, and I've said this before, people are sheeple nowadays. They are sheep.
True.
And, we are God's sheep. But, like, it's an offensive term when you say sheeple because people are so sedated. They're so, our food supply is poisoned. The water makes the frogs gay. And apparently, you know we're so like and I throw myself here being sedentary. It ruins you, dude. Like you can't think. You're constantly in the fog. And now don't get me on the jab or anything because we could go that way too and get in trouble on YouTube. But,
No
like
kidding.
it's
No
so
kidding.
bad. Like people don't think. Oh, I guess we can connect it with AI. People, well, supposedly there was like a test or something. Like someone who constantly uses AI versus who critically thinks and does their own
Oh, yeah,
research.
I think I
Their
may know what
brain
you're
seemed
talking
like
about
more
here.
smoother.
Yeah, it was like it was
I
yeah,
don't have the
people
study.
people I'm trying to remember. I saw something about this. It was like, yeah, they basically tested the mental capacity,
Mm-hmm.
the neuron stimulation of individuals that used
Mm-hmm.
AI versus non-AI, and the people that used AI for so much, their neural stimulation was significantly decreased versus someone that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't use AI in overabundance and actually uses their brain for actual thinking and critical reasoning and things like that. There was, I believe, it was a significant lack of neuron firing for those that use AI. And
Mm-hmm.
you are correct. It's wait, I will partially agree with that. It's like by design to stupefy the population to a degree. Yes, I do believe you're correct. Do I
Mm-hmm.
think it is a massive global conspiracy theory to dumb down a population?
No.
I no,
Well,
I definitely don't think it's that. But
actually.
I think it may have actually started. It may have actually started with, to the creation of it for benefiting humanity, making things easier for people in some respects. And I do think it may have evolved to the point where we are at now, where it is causing the stupification in the younger generations. But at the same token,
So
there is an added component of that where you've basically got the parents of the younger generation not actually acting like parents. And instead of actually raising their children, teaching them important life lessons, teaching them critical thinking skills, they sit them on the couch, stick a tablet in their hands, and walk away and
Mhm.
do their own thing for hours on end. So it's
Yeah.
kind of it's kind of two parts of an overall problem that we've been seeing,
Mhm.
where you can't just point at one single thing and go, aha, there's your issue. It's not that simple.
It's a culmination of things. It's
Yes.
not just one thing. It's never usually one thing. No, it depends
No.
on what it. But I guess I sort of disagree with it not being a global like intentional thing, because even
Yeah.
throughout history, right? There's in older societies, right? There was always like a monarchy, and people who surrounded the monarchy, and they sought for control to keep the populace under control. Now, I'm not against the
Well,
monarchy personally, but it's always been about control. How can you control people, and how, because if you can control the masses, you have power. And it's always about power and greed, and I have no doubt that the powers that be, the people that we don't even know their last names or family names you've never heard
yeah.
of, are out there. And people in the government might there might be puppets in there. And I don't know how much you watched like Leaflet, but I totally agree with her when a lot
I
of
watched some of her
people
stuff.
like nowadays are NPC our NPCs are Quangos. So I'm like,
Yes,
okay,
I
no,
know that
this is
that
very easy.
it and to a degree, I do agree to a degree. I think it's more along the lines of that those in positions of power have been keeping their ear to the ground on this stuff, and they've recognized what's been happening. They've recognized the failure of parents these days, and they're capitalizing upon it. So I don't think that they actually created this with the specific intention of dumbing down the populace and using it as a means of control. I think that I think a fair amount
Mm,
of these individuals, like they've been watching. These are people that have been watching for years and years and years. They've been watching, on a macro level, and they're seeing what is
mm,
happening with society. They're seeing what's happening in schools, where you have, high school kids that can barely read at a fifth grade level. They're seeing this and they're going, okay, how can we use this? And they're capitalizing on it versus they created the problem. No, they recognize the problem and now they're utilizing it for their
mm.
own gain.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you. Okay, if they didn't create it, then did they? Are they taking advantage of it? Which I would say probably more likely and more likely to be proved is that they're using all of this dumbification and stuff and all this technology, for their own gain. Which I can get behind that.
Yeah,
I think there's some
that's
really evil people that will develop
oh
things
sure.
and try to
Oh,
ruin society.
absolutely.
But um,
Absolutely. If we're just
I'm
looking
Bill
at like
Gates.
if we're taking a wide angle view of it, that's my opinion. Now, on a more condensed level, yes, I have zero doubt that you have people with nefarious intentions in mind that are creating things specifically to take advantage of people on a more not on a more micro scale. If we're basically going from macro to micro, it's on a
Mhm,
more micro scale. I can agree with
mhm,
that. It's just on a macro level, I don't foresee it being
mhm,
this overly sinister on a
mhm.
macro level where they created this specifically for this. It's just they recognize it and they go, aha, I can use this. And they have it.
The scientists who made something to benefit the world, but the evil people have taken it and twisted it.